How big? How bad? Why do we care?
Well, Jim, this is a very, very sophisticated, almost like a dream attack for a cyber hacker. Like the ability to get into the software development lifecycle of a piece of software, which is used by 300,000 customers, 18,000 of them downloaded this patch. Effectively, you have the backdoor keys to 18,000 customers if they have not been able to protect themselves against this patch or they've been diligent and downloaded this patch. So this is going to be a big one. This is going to be known as one of the top 5 attacks in the history of cybersecurity.
But if I'm a person at home and I'm worried about my bank account, worried about my electricity, what am I worried about? Or is this enterprise and you better be darn worried about it?
It is enterprise. It is governments. It is everything you can imagine because it's hard to get 300,000 customers out there. It's hard to get 18,000 customers to download a patch. There are organizations around the world which are government. I think literally the people who have coordinated this sophisticated attack have the keys to various organizations, and they've selectively gone after the biggest targets. And it's still not clear what the extent and the expanse of this impact is, but I think we're going to keep learning more and more over time, and this will continue to have repercussions depending on how far and how deep this attack has infiltrated.
Yeah, Nikesh, it's David. That was my question. I mean, Tom Bossert, who was a Homeland Security advisor to Trump, wrote an editorial the other day. You know, the Russians have had access to the considerable number of important and sensitive networks for 6 to 9 months. And the SVR, the Russians, will surely have had used it to further exploit and gain administrative control over the networks considered priority targets. I mean, are we just going to keep learning more and more with each day and each week? At what point do we feel like, okay, we really actually know what they know?
Well, again, David, as you've seen, every organization which is in our industry in cybersecurity or large organizations are putting out statements that we have to work together to go figure out the extent of this damage, as well as we've got to go to a large extent to go protect ourselves. So I think it's incumbent upon every organization which deploys a SolarWinds server to make sure, A, are they safe? Were they impacted? And B, are they prepared in the future if something like this happens? Look, we're all going digital. All our data line servers with various companies. Our enterprises are being run because of the digital economy. We've seen that with the pandemic. So it's imperative that we all protect ourselves and make sure this doesn't happen to us. And I think the effects of this are far-reaching. They're going to sort of...
Yeah, Nick, what does it actually mean? You know, I'm always curious. You've got to try to figure out how far they've gotten in within the network. You've got to try to fix whatever's been done and get rid of the areas that have been breached. I mean, is that just man hours? Is that just enormous number of people sitting at computers dealing with all of these issues and trying to understand them?
No, David, it's more than that. So let's go back to the basics. What happened? Lots of organizations use a certain piece of software to manage their networks. That software has privileged access to be able to reconfigure things, to be able to move things around. If you can get in the software development lifecycle of that piece of software, which is what has happened here, you effectively, if you can communicate it, you can make it do things you want it to do. Imagine if I have privileged access to somebody's network and I can make it do what I want to do. I can make it behave in such a way that it lets me in to various parts of their servers. So I can go get in one way, traverse the organization, figure out where the crown jewels are. I can go figure out where the server is which stores the vaccine data. I can figure out where the server is which stores social security numbers. I can figure out where the server is that stores codes. Once I figure that out, I can exfiltrate that data, take it away, and do what I want with it. And literally, each of these can be done on an individual organization, enterprise, agency basis because you've basically got keys to the back door. That's what we're talking about.
All right,
so
Nick,
every organization has to go check to make sure, A, did they get impacted? If they did, they've got to go scrub their entire network. We spent 2,500 hours in the last few weeks making sure that nothing went through any of our infrastructure because, you know, we highlighted that we saw recently an attempt with one of our SolarWinds servers just trying to communicate to malware. We blocked it with our Cortex XDR agent. We put out that indicator to all of our customers to try and protect them, but we still went ahead and once we found out with SolarWinds, we went ahead and scrubbed the whole thing.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.